I'm related to law enforcement who is no longer law enforcement. That's not the business. It's too much. And it's above the shit. To be honest with you, the shit the cops go through is above their pay grade. And something else they ain't dropping jewels on. Why are so many damn cops leaving from the PD? They said they felt their morale was low. They said the chiefs and lieutenants treated them like shit.
They're about the ones in New York, right?
Huh? No.
They're about the one in New York.
Oh yeah, cops. So think about that. A lot of these cops have things that's going on internally within their with their employment, with their occupation. So let alone you stop me. Granted, I had a hard day at work, and I'm like, man, what you stop me for? Right? He's getting mad because he getting treated like he ain't qualified to do the job, bro. This is how cops smell. You got cops going from PD from this Dallas Department PD to Fort Worth PD and other even out of town in Texas. So think about the morale being brought low, and then Jake want to talk back and don't want to comply. Nigga, get your ass out the car. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting paid $20,000 less than these other surrounding cops. And our job and our code is to lock your black ass up. Bro, everything's going hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? It's going everybody's got the nation of Israel that had to catch L's and gonna continue, but the Most High is fighting for us. But you other nations and you damn Edomites, man, it's L time. It's L taking time for y'all, man. It's like your family. You gotta reach something out here. It's real quick,
yeah. Just after that. No, yeah, you stay there.
This is Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievous which they have prescribed, to turn aside the needy from the just judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be the prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And what will ye do in the day of visitation?
What are you gonna do? When your house shines right there, what are you gonna do? Because you did all the wrong in the world. You perpetuated the savior of the nation of Israel as being a so-called white man. That's crime enough right there. That makes my blood boil. You got gutter rat Edomites over in our land. One of them calling himself Zakarian, one calling himself Michael, one over there with a camera calling himself Bonzabal. They took our whole identity and left us over here to die. Just over there living it up. Straight up pretending that they are us. When Yahushua comes back, what are you gonna say? How you gonna lie to him? How you gonna lie to him? You gonna lie to Yahushua and say, I'm an Israelite?
We all need to come together. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I've been keeping law. You gonna do that when Yahushua comes? You can try, but you'll end up being just a ball of dust on the ground.
And what will you do? What will you do in the day of visitation and in the desolation?
All these laws, all these decrees and amendments and all that stuff is nothing more than to make the situation tighter and tighter for those who are not of the elite in society. That's all it's meant for. The elite of society can do what they want to do, when they want to do it, however they want to do it. For example, there's a water ban in pretty much all of Texas, to where you can't run your sprinkler from 10 in the morning to 6 p.m. in the evening. If you go to the rich neighborhoods, all you see is sprinklers running. All just running, right? It's not a big example, right? But if you go to a regular neighborhood and see the sprinklers running, somebody walking by with a notepad, and then you're gonna get a ticket on your front door. The kind, like if you get the car towed, it's stuck, you can't even peel the shit off, you're gonna get that kind of ticket. You just gonna have to deal with it.
Take that fade.
All these laws, yeah, you're gonna have to take that fade. All these laws are designed to make this situation tighter and tighter. The good thing about us, the good thing about those that are striving to be of the elect, is we don't care. We already know that you're not fair, you're not equal. So when it comes and hits us, we're just like, what else would I expect, right? What else could I expect from this so-called white man?
Yep. It's like you're vicious, like, fuck, man, some bullshit. Then after a while, you like, the scriptures told me this was gonna happen, so you know what?
You gonna take L's as an Israelite.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a devil, you gonna catch hell.
You start having to pay all these tickets, then like Yahushua said, render unto Caesar what is Caesar. Give him his money back. It's his money.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't know why you gave it to me in the first place. Go ahead.
Gone. And what will ye do in the day of visitation and in the desolation which shall come from far? To whom will ye flee for help? And
Who's
where?
going to help you in that time? Who are you going to call? When Yahushua shows up, what army are you going to call? What sheriff office are you going to call? What marshal? What deputy? What martial arts that you learn is going to help you? What's going to help? Who are you going to call when Yahushua comes? It's nothing that you can do. And that's why we feel so comfortable with the situation that we're in. Because we're on the right side. We're on the winning team. All we got to do is keep coming to practice, keep playing the game, keep doing what you're doing. Yahushua got it. They're going to come back and score 50 on the ass real quick.
That's right.
Real quick. That's all we got to do. All right?
That's right. And where will ye leave your glory? No, that's it. Zechariah 11 and 4. Thus said Yahweh, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty.
Hold themselves not guilty. That's exactly what happens when all these things are going down. That's exactly what happens. They hold themselves not guilty. They know they did the crime. They know they should do the time.
That's right.
But they sit in court, just like with Freddie Gray, Baltimore.
Yeah.
They sit in court and they hold themselves not guilty. If there was a couple Jakes that was in that situation too. If they weren't cops, they would be up in upstate. They'd be in prison. But because they were a part of the system, they let them make it. They all are free on charges. They weren't held to the standard that you hold everybody else. Read that for me one more time.
Whose possessors slay.
Verse 4.
Oh, so like
4 and 5.
verse 4. Thus said Yahweh, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter.
That's what we're doing. We're feeding the flock. We're feeding the flock. And the flock is up for a slaughter. They just like sheep. They wandering around. They're in the stocks marching toward getting their head cut off. Not paying no attention. The sheep in front of them just got his head cut off. They still wandering over. That's how our people are. The cops been doing all this madness around the world, but now you want to hug a cop. Jake all next to him and taking pictures on their Facebook.
Picnics and barbecues.
You had I want to say it's a radio station, 97.9. They have, I guess it's one particular day where you're just supposed to go around and do good deeds. And that's supposed to bring everybody back together. They say you're supposed to do stuff like hold the door open for somebody, pay for somebody, you know, if you're in a fast food line, pay for the person behind you. All this kind of madness, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Chick-fil-A does.
All this kind of madness like that. Those aren't good deeds. That's just stupid deeds. What we're doing is good deeds. We're sitting up here telling you the truth about all kinds of aspects of life. I was talking to somebody the other day. She was acting like she just knew everything. And I told her I'm just a humble, I know some stuff. I know a little bit about a lot of stuff. And I told her, I said, look, check this out. Did you know that there was 9 presidents before George Washington? Man, shut up, nigga, that's crazy. Look it up on your phone. She looked it up, looked up in the air and said, where the fuck I been this whole time? That's just how information is. That's it. Look it up when you get a chance. Look it up. And I believe 1 or 2 of them were so-called Jakes, so-called black men. I believe John Hancock on the $2
$2 bill, yeah.
dark ass face.
With that white ass wig on.
So out of place.
Yeah, dark ass face in the bag, and you looking at it like, well, that's just the shading of it. No, it was everybody else skin white. It was just a shading on the part right there. Probably invested.
Shake was in there.
Too much ink came out that time.
Yeah, that's how it is.
That's right.
These people think they just got it all and they know it all. You don't know nothing. You don't know a damn thing about nothing. Until you learn the truth of Yahweh Basham Yahshua, you lost out here. You was gonna say something.
They know what the white man tells them. The white man feeds them, man. And that's why they led to the slaughter, man. But he got their mind solely wrapped up in his philosophy, man. And so he got their ass falling right to his tune where he can cut everybody's head off like the brother did.
That's right. And you got over there in Italy, I was watching this little story about the Moors in Italy. And you know all those Italian fashion and high fashion and all that, guess where that came from? The Moors. The Moors were coming over there bringing that fashion, bringing all that good looking stuff, right? And then the shoes, the gator shoes, that kind of perpetuated in Italy. But guess what? Ain't no goddamn crocodiles and alligators in Italy. That was the Moors that were going on those ships, bringing all that stuff around. Give a Hamite alligator or a crocodile. What are they gonna do with that? They gonna eat that motherfucker, dip it in ketchup, put some tartar sauce on it, all kind of stuff.
You're gonna turn into an alligator god.
Yeah, exactly. Jake got a belt, clean belt, some shoes to match. Mess around, have a snake skin or alligator skin tie. Jake make it all look good. But back to the point of, this is our job, this is our position, this is our title. We're out here feeding the flock of the slaughter. And we know these niggas are up for the slaughter. The problem is they don't know.
That's right.
But hey, y'all want to have it like this? Go ahead. We searching out righteousness. Right. We searching out those good things.
That's right. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not.
Their own shepherd. The cops don't love you. You hugging them the whole time you thinking, man, first chance I can get, shoot your
shit out.
Pop you.
No, they good.
Well, they still. I thought they wrapped up. So like,
I'll say this. Also, their own shepherds is also talking about our leaders, man. The so-called leaders of these people, man. They don't give a damn. They on time they show up when the crisis when they get paid for it, man.
Yeah.
You know, they show up when that check clear. That's the only time they ever show up, and they show up when it's directed by the elites to come pacify these people, man. So they in turn really don't give a damn. So it's like, shit, we good. They old people ain't care about us, so why should we?
Yeah.
You know?
it was the actual report that came out that said Al Sharpton worked for the CIA. Now he may not have been on the payroll for the CIA, but he was an informant for the CIA. So you're not wrong if you're saying he worked for the CIA. He was an informant. And you think Jesse Jackson ain't doing the same thing? If Martin Luther King Jr. was here, he'd be doing the same thing. Malcolm X, he'd be doing the same thing. Huey Newton, he'd be doing the same thing. If you're not into the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, you're going to get caught up in all this madness. You might as well be a police officer. Right? It seems like you make it the longest to be with them.
And it's, like I said, this is an excellent point. You brought up the so-called past leaders. Hey, they always got killed when you start speaking the truth. Yeah, they should have been willing to die for something from the jump. You know what I'm saying? With brothers, you know what I'm saying, that come in the spirit of being a martyr, this thing will get you killed, but you're going to die in truth. You're going to die as a man. Hell, what they do to Marcus Garvey and injected him with syphilis or something? Like he had injected him with a disease. Because he was telling Jake, man, y'all should get the hell out of here. He was the first one moving that campaign, Jake, go back, to Africa, even though we dwelled there in the west of Africa after the destruction of the temple, 70 AD, 70 AD. But he was pushing that movement, man, because he knew this place wasn't for us. What they do to him? Killed him. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, but like the brother was beautifully going into, man, if you're not about the truth, it's gonna be destruction either way. So like you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If he would have stopped and read the Bible, he would have said to himself, there's no point going back to Africa, because the scriptures say, Deuteronomy 28 and so on, it say that we not gonna be able to go back during that time. And so you got other people thinking, well, we're gonna go ahead and go back to Israel. Yahushua hasn't come back. That's when we'll be put in that land. I'm saying all that to say that, look, if you into the scriptures and the Lord's blessing you with that understanding, this is like a roadmap for life.
That's right.
I'm about to go to Europe. Fuck all this shit. If you reading, you'll say to yourself, no, that's a bad life. I'll just end up with the same thing over there. Let me just sit here and fight this thing out, right?
I just showed on what you had.
Which one?
Zechariah 4, the 11.
Go back here. Did you have a precept?
Second Ezra chapter 15, starting at verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, the swords in their hands.
Sword, modern day sword. Is that gun? is that missiles, that grenades, this, that, and the other. And these people are getting an uproar. When you look at the so-called, I was talking to somebody about this at work. It seems like these so-called white people are getting quiet. And you can tell in their quietness, they're plotting. They're not all out there, you know what I mean, living that American life so much anymore. A lot of them are just quiet. So every time you start talking about, they hear Black Lives Matter, they want to quickly counter and say all lives matter, right? But they ain't gonna argue with you. Their talking is gonna be with their sword. So when the cops got shot up, somebody was putting on Facebook, I think their friend or their father owned a gun store, and they said the gun sales shot through the roof even more than Christmas time, even more than when Barack Obama got in office. So in their quietness, they're preparing themselves for this time that the scripture's talking about.
That's right.
Now what are you gonna do? How many bullets can you go buy from the store? You gonna sit up there and buy all the bullets from Walmart? Well, guess what? There's a whole lot of Walmarts around. Everybody got a gun, everybody got a bullet. That's not gonna get it done. The only thing that's gonna get it done is that spirit of Yahweh shall.
Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
That's right. They're not regarding Barack Obama. They're not going to regard Donald Trump in that. They're going to do what they want to do. They're not going to regard the sheriffs. They're not going to be, man, some niggas in my yard. No, they're going to take matters into their own hand. And they're going to say, Sheriff, if you, I know you saw me kill that man, but if you come over here, I'll kill your ass too. They're not going to regard none of these laws and all that in that day. So while you niggas are constantly worried about the club and which chick you gonna get with, this, that, and the other, everybody else, all the other nations are beating their pruning hooks into weapons. They're getting ready for a war. But you niggas are walking around hugging cops. Buying the nigga behind you in Taco Bell lines his meal. That's what y'all on.
If I can say this, also why America's making themselves great again, so-called, so is the prophecy in Ezekiel. When Russia, the hooks will be in Russia's mouth, and what's that, Gog and Magog? Guess what? They're being brought back into remembrance too. They being brought back into their power.
The simple term of make America great again, if you really paying attention, you so-called Negroes, especially you so-called Native Americans, so-called Mexicans, and so on, y'all should be mad as hell. Because all through the years, when America was great, your ass was a slave. Your ass was kicked out of the country. They was making the whole Native American, so-called Native American lifestyle, culture, and the people have been wiped out.
Totally decimated.
Totally decimated. So now if you think of a Native American, you don't really think of the red headdress. You think of some drunk Indian woman on a reservation, don't know what to do with herself.
To gamble her money away.
Blowing herself out to a so-called white man. That's what they want to get back to. When they say make America great, they want your ass on that plantation, picking at cotton or picking at something, picking at whatever is going on at that time. That's what they want you to do. They want to put your ass in the factories and not pay you. And they just sit and high off the hog, just like they did when in the time of slavery. And it's like a man of understanding will know that them same people that were there then, they right here.
That's right, brother. Nah, what he said. What he said. You know what I'm saying?
That's your sermon for tonight. What he said.
Well, yeah, the brother said back in the spirit. Now, because what people always say, well, that's not us. You know, but if you understood the scriptures, you know you are of your fathers.
Reincarnation.
You are your father, just coming back in reincarnation. That's all. And like the brother said, in slavery, America was great when that $100 trillion of forced labor was going down in America. Nobody wants to talk about that. And you simple ass Negroes still trying to be a part of this system. Talking about, well, you know what I'm saying, man, look, man, you know the so-called white man is dirty when he forced $100 trillion of free labor from your ass. Everybody talking about, well, we never built nothing. We couldn't. In fucking subjection to the white man. Why is it in 1850 and all the way to 2016, 50% of the population is the Southern Kingdom in prison, man. You gotta ask yourself that. Jake wasn't committing no fucking crimes in slavery.